Mm-hmm. Games Workshop.
Is there a link to the chat? I'm gonna go look.
By Jon Quennell in Discord. Danny McDevitt.
Dicky, you're so amazing.
Heffelfinger. I know. I'm Dicky, and it's Grim After Dark.
Welcome to Grim After Dark, Warhammer 40,000's only late-night talk show for some reason. My name is Jon. I'm here to misinform and entertain as we talk about the goings-on over the last week in the world of Warhammer. Tonight, we bring you our top 5 rules and points changes from the last week's Balance Dataslate. We go around the net. We have episode 5 of Abby the Spoiler, and we ask you, the live audience, if you're ready to play eBay Prices Redacted Licensing Edition. You can message Tech Priest Dicky on Facebook and let him know, and you too can show off your cheap miniature know-how. But before we go on, if you enjoy what you see or what you listen to, you can support us by liking or subscribing wherever it will let you. If you're able to throw a couple of dollars our way by becoming a member on YouTube or super chatting the answer to this question, was the Balance Dataslate enough to even out the Warhammer 40,000 playing field? Now, let's meet the team. First up, he's the co-host with the co-most. He carries a true bill of friendship, and he's all the way from Moscow, Idaho. It's Danny McDevitt. And joining us tonight, he's usually the man behind the curtain and the guy who's responsible for everything you see that isn't us talking. It's the master of the digital short, and he puts the coach in Canadian. It's Dicky.
Hello.
Special guest. Oh, you're in the office now. Holy cow. A special guest this evening. Pilots hate him, women love him, and he puts the tist in statistic. It's 40k stats and Goonhammer's own Peter the Falcon.
Channing Tatum.
Oh, God, I was so close to making it before the music ran out. I'm really sad.
I thought we went over this, Peter. Like, we talked about this like 8 times.
What?
Today. No, you're Peter today. You're not Channing Tatum.
All I want, like, when I talked to you guys pre-show, when Val came in and was like, I can't do this show. I know nothing about 40K. I need you. I said, the only thing I want in my rider is you guys refer to me as Channing Tatum.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
Well,
fair.
I'm sorry. We don't have that in writing or any kind of, like, I don't have to, I don't have to respond to that. I'm not going to. I'm going to continue to call you Peter this entire time. I just want you to know and understand that.
Well, let's just do this thing. Let's get rid of Peace TV real quick. Dicky, can you get out there?
No worries. No worries.
Yeah.
Thanks. Please.
And
Thank
our
you.
special guest this evening, guess who's pretty good at Magic Mike? He was in G.I. Joe as well, I think. He puts the dance and dancer. It's Channing Tatum.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's me, Channing Tatum.
Oh, boy, that was bad. You okay?
Yikes.
Beautiful. As Pete mentioned, he's on this week to help us out going through all of the changes and our favorite things from the Balance Dataslate and the points update from last week's World of Warhammer. Val was all on board from it before he reminded him it was Warhammer 40K and not Warhammer Fantasy, as that game has not had a balance update in how many years now, Danny?
8.
Yeah.
Perfect.
9 years.
Yeah.
4 went out.
Guys, this week's comment of the week, brought to you by our friends at Frontline Gaming at frontlinegaming.org, is this. We could only afford 4 pixels for it because Frontline's yet to pay us.
I was going to ask.
Fantastic. Thanks, Dicky.
But yeah. Thanks, Dicky.
Who made this?
This is Jon. This is all Jon.
This is sadly,
This is a Jon special.
Yeah.
Jon, all right. We got to talk about
okay.
some budget constraints here. Like,
We sure do, buddy. Let me tell you. But this one here from, I want to say Johnny Watkins. I can no longer read it anymore. It says, this is the best show on the net. I listen to these guys talking about drying paint. So yeah,
there you
Channing, Danny, go ahead.
it's cool. What?
Talk about drying paint, clearly. Yeah.
You know, so paint dries through a chemical reaction process where the acetone evaporates and leaves behind. I don't know.
Wait. Oh, let me make it a little bit more exciting, and then you can talk about paint drying.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, is that a music? Okay, I hear
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Paint. Did we lose Peter? Is he still there?
Oh,
I'm still here. I'm just listening to you guys.
I think we lost all our watchers or listeners at this point, unfortunately. But no big deal.
Perfect. Everything's going to plan.
Yeah.
The bit's not going to work if when I specifically refer to you as Channing, you don't answer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that was the bit. Okay, I guess we're in.
All in.
It's beautiful. I want to say chat's coming in strong, saying I can't stop looking into those dead bird eyes.
Yeah.
I want to
Aw, thanks,
I want to
guys.
let chat know Seth has been nowhere near this bird. This bird is quite healthy and fine.
That's
I
why we
will
can't tell
say,
you
he's
exactly
been
where
near
Pete lives because
this
he's
bird.
basically in Seth protection right now.
With Seth protection. Beautiful. Hey, let's get down to it. I will warn you, I didn't put the slide in the right place. That's my bad. But there is strong talk of Warhammer 40,000 and the actual game of it this episode. But let's get right to it with our top 5 of the week, Balance Update Edition.
Top 5 of the week.
There was no short way to write that whatsoever. It's a very long title, a very long week. Last week was the long-awaited Balance Update, and we got your favorite people, Dicky, Danny, and Peter the Falcon, to share their 5 favorite things.
Okay, come on. They're not
Let's-
their favorite.
let's
people.
be
Don't
realistic.
see it on it. Here, okay. I'm nobody's favorite person.
Oh.
I'm going to say I don't have 5. My only favorite was this one here. My favorite thing for the Balance Update is Brian Fnord, who says, blame Mike for Hellstorm for Death Watch nerfs. I'm out of loop. Why are we blaming Mikey for nerfs?
I honestly don't know. Mikey's not very good at the game, so I can't see anything he's done having any kind of impact.
Didn't he just win a tournament?
Yeah, okay. I think he won a tournament that nobody attended because
Right.
all the good players were at WTC.
Right.
Or did
Right?
he
And
make
that's what
that
he's-
did get some drama. I think
Yeah.
there were some people very mad that he decided to attend an event that nobody else attended. But
that is
I mean,
the
that's
dumbest
not a-
drama I've ever
That's really
heard.
stupid.
That's
Yeah, I
bad
agree.
drama.
Yeah.
yeah. But
What
I mean,
do
it
you
is what
mean
it
you weren't
is.
invited
People
to
got very
take part
upset.
in? You weren't invited to take part in Team England. You're not allowed to play Warhammer while Nazim is not in the country. I'm sorry.
Got it.
It's one of the bylaws.
The England competitive community is very strong. But we're going to start this week with Falcon's top 5 changes. Danny, maybe if you can help describe the images you're seeing to coax the beautiful bird brain of what
Yeah,
we're
sure.
looking at here.
So what
Starting
you're
here,
looking at is a falcon, which I believe is a Pacific form, meaning that they're descended from a common ancestor with the parrot, unlike eagles and hawks, which have come from a different lineage. And so this is a stone depiction, looks very worn, seems to be very old, of a falcon or falcon-like bird.
Yeah.
It has 4 talons on each claw, clenching a stone block with one, and both of the legs have some kind of, it looks like maybe a pouch attached to them.
Yep.
Peter, that's how you carry most of your valuables, right?
It is. It's how I carry my valuables, mostly just my young when they're
Okay.
small.
I will
pouches
say-
on my leg.
I was wanting you to describe the pictures coming up after his title card. But that was, I think, the most beautiful description of the Maltese Falcon I've ever heard. It's something that's worthless, but everyone yearns for, much like this show. But we'll start with Pete's 5th favorite change, which is these guys here. And Daddy, can you explain this one to me?
So this is a picture. It looks like a fairly well painted, I feel like.
Yes, that's pretty good.
Thanks, Google.
Desolation Marine. The sergeant specifically, if I have to get specific, and I will. And then superimposed on that is a shittily edited hand
Yeah.
flipping him off in profile. So it's superimposed over the model, so it looks like he's flipping someone off past the model, kind of.
Yeah. I will say,
hard to
very
say.
hard at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night to find a 3/4 profile flip in the bird shop. And after 10 minutes of searching, this was about the best we could find. Also, Photoshop, you have terrible background removal tools.
John, you know that I love you, man. Like this is I get it. This is work that
Oh,
I've
this
seen
was
some of your
Dicky did this
Photoshops.
one. Look
They're-
how awful
Oh,
this is.
I did not do this.
Oh, Dicky did this?
Yeah.
No,
clearly
no,
I
it was
did
me.
this. Yeah.
But Pete, your number 5 favorite change was to the Desolation Marines. And
Yes.
kind of what happened there and why are you so favorable to it?
So Desolation Marines were one of the big bads for the end of 9th and the beginning of 10th. Despite Marines not doing super well overall, but they were being carried by this unit. And what we saw was they were reduced from a 10-man down to a max 5 and saw a points increase. And I felt like this was a very beautiful change. Along with the other point changes to Marines, it kind of it really opens up list building options for Marines. People aren't going to be held to, well, I have to take 10 of these guys at the very minimum. They're still, I think, playable at their current status. I don't know how much we'll see them. But it to me, it was a fair and balanced way to fix a very problematic unit that was, I feel, holding back Marines as a whole.
Beautiful. And anyone just looking out on eBay to see Desolation Marines for sale after people can no longer take 30, they can only take 15. Is it a strong secondary market now, I'm guessing?
I would imagine that the weird thing about Desolation Marines is at the end of 9th, even when they were spectacular, you could still get them for real cheap on eBay. Start at 10th, it was dumb how much people were charging for them. And I would imagine now they have to be dipping.
And they're so dumb looking.
Oh
yeah, they're real stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are both wrong.
What? Look at that guy. Yeah. Look at this guy. He's ridiculous. Here, let me move.
He's a space marine, Dicky.
Look how dumb this. It just doesn't make sense here. Yeah,
I don't understand what's wrong with him.
Put it right over top of it. There you go.
It's a dumb model.
Yeah, dumb model.
He's dumb.
Oh. It's okay. You guys are entitled to your wrong ass opinion.
I guess. Yeah, you're not wrong.
I think everyone with a podcast has a wrong ass opinion at this point. Moving on to number 4, Peter coming in strong here with the change to a small rule set here. We have the changes to devastating wounds. What happened with those changes? Why is it so good for the game?
Devastating wounds came out in 10th as what was supposed to be a special rule where if you rolled a 6 to wound, a critical hit, the damage you did on a weapon was turned into mortal wounds. The problem with it was they gave it to a lot of very powerful guns on very cheap units and gave a lot of ways, particularly with Eldar, to modify your rolls to be 6s, to be critical hits. And so there were a lot of units, particularly with one faction, but across multiple factions, that could easily abuse devastating wounds, do a shit ton of mortals across the board. And it was very unfun. This fix definitely nerfs devastating wounds without destroying them completely. They're still valuable. It's just the value now is more on the lighter end, the weapons that only do 1 or 2 damage, I find, rather than the big 2d6 damage weapons, which I think is a very valuable change. And it was just something that really needed to be done because dev wounds were a problem. It isn't a perfect fix. I would have liked to have seen something slightly different, like maybe removing, making it so that they had to be a strict 6. You couldn't modify or replace a value to make it a 6, which would have helped, I think, in a different way. I also feel like this was a real heavy-handed nerf to Custodes because one of the values in Custodes, which was a very powerful faction until this patch, was that they actually had saves against mortal wounds, and now devastating wounds on a faction that relies on saves it's going to really hurt them in particular very badly, probably more than it should.
Nice,
but it's still a great change.
Yep. You'll take the one army failing a little bit to it in exchange for the lack of dominance of a lot of other things.
Exactly.
Moving on here, Danny. Again, your description skills are needed. I want to see if you can figure out what I mean by this image I made for number 3.
I think it's the change. It's either a change to towering or a change to ruins. I think it's one of those 2 things.
He's physically moving it. It's funny.
Well, if you look at it in a certain way, it looks like he's peeking out from behind the ruin, and then he's moving back behind it.
I didn't even see the knight, dude. I was I was paying attention to the foreground, not the background.
And that's really kind of like a great metaphor for the change here to towering, where you can't really see the night. But now you can as well, depending on how you move the ruins, even though it's the other way around. Didn't work at all. But Pete, tell us about this change to towering.
So a big problem that a lot of people saw early in 10th was that the towering ability in particular was extremely strong because towering units could see everything on the board regardless of terrain all the time, and it just led to really bad experiences against particular units and like big boy knights or wraith knights, etc. A few tournaments and organizations had already implemented a change where towering didn't function, like still required true line of sight if you were behind a ruin but not touching it. And so GW's kind of put that into play now. So now if a knight or something is behind a ruin and they're not like towed into it, they can't like see over it or through it with abandon any longer, which is like a really big change. It really kind of frees up terrain in particular now on tables. It's and it really lowers like the effect of very large units.
Very large units.
Unfortunately, Imperial Knights did take some other hits that I don't know if were necessary, but this particular change, and the change to towering units being unable to, or Titanic units being unable to Overwatch, like I feel were very good changes for the game.
Yeah. Danny, how do you feel about that? Like the towering, especially the no Overwatch for towering units, that really affects a couple of things like really badly. Like for me,
John, this change makes me feel really uncomfortable. Seeing it displayed like this is disturbing. I don't know. I guess I didn't really understand or maximize the
we can maximize
impact of this. I feel like it's going to be a deep impact to the meta.
Yeah.
Luckily, devastating wounds not as bad as they were, but this is definitely going to drill a large hole into knight armies. And
I think so. Well, and I think it's it's good and bad. I think there's give, and I think there's take.
Yeah. I do like the double harpoon on this particular unit.
Beautiful. Chat asking if the Falcon pick just blinked. Yeah, but try and see it again.
Probably.
We put that money in the channel for reasons.
Yeah.
Guys, I cannot keep my eyes open that long.
It's haunting. It's haunting.
I don't believe you.
Now we get to one of my laziest PowerPoints of the episode here. Falcon, your second choice here.
More efforts.
Is this one here was you just put down Leagues of Votan and Tau Empire.
Point drops.
Point drops. That's right. I wrote the words on there as well. So that's point drops.
Points.
Yeah, so this one, it's really not just these two factions. Those are just the two. I feel like for the most part, points were really well done in this balance patch, and a couple factions in particular went from complete losers to like very competitive overnight. And Votan is one in particular that they gained like 30% of a list overnight because they had 15-20 point drops on most of their units, actually all of their units. We saw the same with Tau, significant point drops. Triptide is possibly a thing now. Broadsides are cheap as hell. Even like Admech, who I don't believe got as good a buff as everybody else, like they're at least playable now. But yeah, these point drops make a big difference, I think, to like if not the top of the game, like that competitive edge.
I think the bottom half, this uplifted a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Danny. I appreciate your dedication.
Dedication to what?
Oh, speaking of bits, moving on to your number one change from last week, and it was another entire faction. It was the Death Guard, who I photoshopped here beautifully using stolen Goonhammer art to be rising from the grave. But tell me about Death Guard. They got
Well,
real
Death
cheap.
Guard got like a full-on rework. Like they're now nothing like what they were in the index. They, on top of getting massive point drops, their core ability changed completely to this new this new disease workup where you get to select a disease that you can impact on your opponent's army from game to game. And some of them, like several of them, are very strong. Like reducing weapon skill and ballistic skill into an orc army is going to be devastating to them. Reducing armor saves on other armies, on most armies, is going to be a very powerful effect. It took Death Guard from like the worst army in the game, like in a fight with Votann, for that to possibly, depending on how we see everything shake out, being one of the best ones. And like a very interesting faction.
Peter, they didn't completely change Death Guard. They just added a bunch of rules to what they already have, and then they dropped their points.
I mean, adding a bunch of rules to the core rules is, to me, like a complete change, because before you didn't have options.
I mean, one rule. They had one rule.
Yeah, well, now they've got what, 4, and you can pick. Like that's me, it's
well, you're always -1 toughness, and then you can pick between the other 3.
Yeah, that just seems real good to me, and I really like it.
Yeah,
it's really well thought out.
People are like looking more like at Hellbrutes now and how to kind of maximize that aura range.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's the disease for that one is -1 ballistic skill and not -1 to hit, which means you can stack it with a -1 to hit aura. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do, and it definitely made me look back at my Death Guard collection a little bit, because there's a lot of points drops there, and we're almost back to the glory days of 9 Blight Haulers that don't work but hilarious. If you want to make Danny real mad, play him. We used to lose the game, but when you keep bringing back Death Haulers or Blight Haulers and saving, it's good times, right, Danny?
It is
amazing. Dicky,
yeah.
I'm going to move on to your top 5. There's a couple here that are real similar, so we'll just go through those real quickly. Dicky, for number 5, you picked the Death of Desolators. Yours was a little bit more dramatic.
Kill those sons of guns. Stupid model, stupid unit. Get them out of here.
Was that the one take reviews that we were talking about adding in here?
Yep.
Stupid guns, stupid rules. Then your number 4 here, we have the changes to the Eldari.
Yeah. I think with the Wraith Knight increases in points, as well as the changes to Devastating and Towering, I'm not quite sure you're going to see as many Wraith Knights in competitive play. Maybe none. But I don't necessarily think it was enough to make Eldar a poor faction. I still think they're probably on the tippity top of the good faction list.
Yeah. Danny, Pete, you guys agree? You might notice for this clip art, and then Pete, you might not be able to see this. There is an Eldari codex on some scales. It's not quite balanced, but it's better than what it was. Danny,
I got full visibility. I can see.
No file.
And I agree. I didn't put them on my list because I didn't think it was enough. I didn't feel like I feel like they got rid of Wraith Knights from the meta. That's a very true fact, and that was a very hard thing to deal with.
Yep.
But like the rest of the army is still so strong, and there were so many things that were so powerful that people just weren't using that they're going to shift to as well. That it's like I still think they're probably the best army in the game by a slimmer margin, but a decent margin still.
Yeah.
Danny, you are taking some Eldari to the upcoming Charity Hammer this weekend. The Colin Sherman Sleepaway Camp. What are your thoughts on them post F? Because I know you were excited for the Balance Dataslate to maybe power them down so they were less oppressive.
Yeah, sure. So I think I don't know. We'll see. I think they're still pretty good. So I don't need to repeat the same thing 3 times.
Or you might. I don't know. Moving on to Dicky's number 3 here. Well, what are we looking at here, Dicky? Why would I choose numbers like this?
I have no idea. In fact, I was confused when I first looked at it. It's a guy vacuuming up sand, and then I remembered, I was talking about how Thousand Sons got beat the hell up in the data slate.
Good.
I really like that Thousand Sun list, and you know what? Maybe it was.
I bet you did.
So Dicky, is your takeaway that you really liked the suppressive list, and now that they've made it less oppressive, it won't be fun to play?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it's just not. Honestly, I believe my list went up about 230 points.
I believe that.
So had to cut back. I think it's still good. Like, I do think the list is still okay. I don't think it's on the level. There's a couple other things that they did that were kind of sneaky. Used to be able to do the at a line of sight shooting for free, and they moved that. It's not a battle tactic, so you can't actually make that a free stratagem, which is a huge deal when it comes to the kind of the way I was playing them. So back to the drawing board, I guess, with them. But I think I'm moving on to greener pastures with another army anyway. So yeah,
it's true. Danny, were you surprised to see such a change to Thousand Suns coming out of it? Because it doesn't seem to be what a lot of people were talking
Absolutely not, John. Not only was I not surprised, I was overjoyed. I actually clapped.
He played once. He played it once. That's all it took.
That was enough times for me. I have to say, Dicky.
All right.
So yeah, no, full applause from GW in this way that they could, take on Eldar with more steps and make them into a reasonable army. Maybe
it is arguable that they actually hit T-Suns harder than they hit Eldar. I'm just that's how I personally feel. Maybe Falcon can agree, disagree. I don't know.
I agree to an extent. I think that I was very happy to see the changes because I don't think it killed them, but like I was worried they weren't going to do anything to Thousand Suns.
I don't want them to die or anything. I just want them to not be quite so powerful. That's all.
Like the way they were talking, I thought this guy, dude, there are no lights. The power's out. Calm your shit. Anyway, sorry. The guy's just like burning down this tiny little rural street. Anyway, yeah, like they talked a lot about
barrel out there, dude.
So he's powering the phone
and Custodes, and so I thought maybe Thousand Suns were gonna dodge. So I was quite excited.
I was so hoping that they would dodge. But yeah.
As one of the 15 armies, friend of the show Taylor was making lists for up to it. It was pretty certain to get nerfed pretty quickly. And I'm
man,
that it was.
Oh
yeah. Dicky, you're number 2. Same as Falcon with the devastating wound, so we can move past that. Like the picture that I made.
That's a great picture. Yeah.
Your number 1 change. Tell me about this picture right here.
I think Danny does a great job explaining pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Danny, what do you think this picture means?
All right, so looks like 2 young children whom Dicky has put a picture up on this podcast, this video cast.
Yeah.
Then semi-tastefully covered their faces with Tyranid Warrior, like I guess heads.
Yeah.
Borrowed again from Goonhammer.
So,
thanks, Goonhammer.
and they're on a roller coaster with their arms in the air.
Yeah.
It looks like they're maybe holding on to the carapace at the top of the warrior head. It's possible. I don't want to
I wouldn't read into it too much. Yeah.
It looks like that might be happening. And the kid behind the one in the lighter green shirt, yellow, he looks really unhappy. I can't see all of his face, but he looks not stoked. And then there's a really weird white dude in the 3rd row.
He's having a stroke. The dude in the
is that are you sure that's a dude? I think it could be a female.
It could be, I guess. I just saw. I thought it was maybe like a guy with like a little, a white afro kind of a thing going on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, little center part action.
Yeah. Danny,
what?
What do you?
No.
I don't know.
Oh.
But Danny, what do you think?
What do you think?
I made this image again. Everything you see here is my terrible jokes and Photoshop work. What do you think Dicky was referring to when he sent me the words Tyranid roller coaster?
I guess he's probably talking about the points changes for the Tyranid book.
Yes, that's 100% what I'm talking about. The points went from index to codex back to balance. I was on a roller coaster ride of emotions. Like I had 200 points, I didn't have 200 points, I had 200. Like what's going on here, GW? So
they were releasing product for sale, and maybe there was a conspiracy that they knew they only made 4 copies of the Tyranid Codex, So they adjusted all of the points secretly to make more money before releasing the physical copies of the Tyranid Codex.
I'll tell you what, you can't find a Malin Scepter anywhere. They don't exist. They're a figment of my imagination because I can't find any. Zero.
I
Zilch.
just pulled mine out of storage.
Yeah. Great.
Simply do what Danny and I do of just buy everything, never build or use it, and then eventually it's probably going to be good.
Great.
Yeah. Preferably from our friends at frontlinegaming.org. Link in the description.
Right. Yeah, man. I just got a bunch of Tyranids from them, and they just came today already. So it's Monday, and that stuff came out on Saturday. I got a great deal on them. Yeah, it was all around good, great buying experience.
That's awesome. That's about 6 months worth of plugs that we worked in today. That should tide us over until Christmas, right?
Yeah. Well, Danny has the only Malin Scepter in North America, so
in the Pacific Northwest.
Yep.
He's worth about $450.
Yep.
So
get him while he's hot.
Yep. I'll send him to you. Free shipping.
Danny, as someone, and I want to thank you for this, who seem to actually look for different things to be excited about from the balance update.
Okay, hold on. Can I caveat this before we get started?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So, number one, I'd like to point out that when I was given this assignment, I thought I was just talking about points changes and not balance slate things. So all of mine are points changes. Above all of the points changes that I'm excited about, I am more excited about the game balance changes. So just take that with a grain of salt, and let's move into this top five. Captain Danny here.
I was really excited because I looked at I made Pete's stuff last night, and then I made Dicky stuff today, and I'm like, oh god, it's all just the same stuff. And I read through your list. I'm like, oh okay, he's got some hot takes, and I'm like, no,
he just misunderstood the assignment
because I worded it terribly. But Captain Danny, taking us to the first one here. I couldn't make a funny picture for this one, but tell us what your number 5 point change was.
Number 5 point change. I was excited about the changes to Skitarii, both Vanguard and Rangers. I thought that those were a great change, giving them back a 4+ armor save and a 5+ invul, and then dropping their points to the sub 10 points area. And I don't know, it's like they're almost playable. It's insane. I might actually be able to use all of the Vanguard I have. I won't be able to. I have 80 Vanguard, but it'll be exciting to see maybe some of those armies take the table. 90 points times 6, that's only 500 points, 60 guys with a 4 of 5 up is not terrible.
Dragoons got really cheap too, didn't they? I remember seeing that. 60
points a piece, I think.
Yeah, that's playable.
Yeah, that's not bad. I think that they've got some the points changes definitely made a bunch of units pretty interesting.
Okay.
So we'll see if they can move on from their dog shit faction or detachment ability.
Yeah.
And then we'll hopefully they'll be a fun army to play again.
Yeah. Moving on, your number 4 here, somewhat similarly related. These guys here.
But yeah, I have to do a thing. There you go.
Bro, I'm excited about the points on the planes. The planes are right there.
Talk to me about that, because from what I'm seeing from my mid-table vantage point, planes not super popular. Don't seem to be super great in 10th edition.
Yeah,
which is why I was surprised to see you put down the ornithopters or whatever.
Okay, so here's why I'm excited about planes. Number one, I'm excited about planes because I feel like there's going to be a lot more infantry on the table, and I think that you can maybe block out some places that people can land on with some of these planes. I also remember that planes do not have the night problem of not being able to see over terrain. They can just see over terrain no problem all the time now. So I feel like maybe there's some play there. I don't know. It's something I want to explore. I'm excited about it. I've got a bunch of AdMech planes that I have never built. So maybe I'll whip those together and give that a try.
Do you think, obviously aside from your number 1 from this, which we'll go into later, you're most excited about AdMech coming out of this balance update? No?
Not even.
Not even? You just like your planes?
Yeah, we're going to get there, but it's going to be a good time. I'm excited in general. I think this is a good direction for 40K to take.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I was going to keep talking, let Dicky finish the wings, but we got to move on.
Oh, yeah, well, let's move on.
I couldn't think of a good way to visualize a Space Marine battle line, so I chose a Space Marine dance line instead.
I do not want to be drawing on this. Okay.
Yep. There's nothing to draw in here, Dicky. You can't improve on perfection, baby.
Yeah.
Look at it's even has it's including the Falcon in the back.
It's
there
true.
on the upper left hand side. There, you've got the Screaming Falcon. I think that's what chapter this is. Screaming Falcons.
I've heard of those ones.
They will shit right in your goddamn mouth.
What a great name for a chapter. Okay.
Right.
Very cursed.
Famous for their lack of wang. Actually, they just that just falls off during the Gene Seed implementation process, which is why they're so angry.
Yeah.
So that and yeah, it does. There's less things in the way. That just kind of improves agility. Yeah.
All right. Well, I adjusted the wang thing, but yeah, talk to me about Space Marine battle lines.
Yeah, I'm excited about Space Marine battle line. Space Marine battle line going down uniformly in points between 10 to 15 points in general is exciting. I always like to see troops get cheaper because I like to see that stuff on the table more. So here's hoping it does. Probably won't. But you know what? I can dream. And I definitely like infiltrators at 100 points for a unit. And I like, Anyway. Oh, they went up 10? That's fine. They were 90 before? Jesus Christ, that's so underpointed. There's no way they were 18 points a model. That's wild. Yeah. Sexy.
It's so sexy. Yeah.
100 points for aggressors. Yeah. And the Gravis Apothecary with them. But, I got some Flamestorm aggressors. So they're just going to have to wait.
Or
yeah, someday maybe they'll be really great. And
well, moving on to number one here, I think with great speed and haste for no particular reason at all here. No, actually, number two, I made this little thing here. You just said Hormagaunts. Again, maybe you want to go into that one a little here.
Yeah, dude, Hormagaunts at 65 is exciting. I think that horde list is coming.
Yeah,
it's coming. So I'm excited to maybe give that a whirl. That's kind of next on my painting block, as I want to work on a lot of Tyranids. So yeah, excited for them to be good.
And then finally, your number one was the little dwarf men themselves, the League of Votann.
We got dwarfs. Getting to pick 4 units to give 2 judgment tokens to.
Yeah,
huge increase considering you only started with 1 before.
Yeah.
So like trying to live that ballistic skill 4+ lifestyle when
on a 3+ budget,
right? On a 3+ budget, because that's how many points you're paying. Sad. Now I'm paying for a 4+ ballistic skill, but I'm getting the benefits of a 3+ ballistic skill. So the math works out. The dwarves are happy. I'm happy, and I'm ready to see how this faction does in the future.
Beautiful. Guys, thanks so much for your top 5s. It was a huge change to the meta and your army list construction. How did your armies make out? Let us know. Did you feel good, bad, let off? Are you an Aldari player in denial that too much was done, or a Custodes player sad that they're losing to Death Guard again? Leave your comments, let us know, or don't, and we'll just assume they're bad. But let's go around the net. We got a couple things to touch on here, especially one Dicky's going to be very happy about. Amazing. Welcome to Around the Net, the part of the show where we dive deep into the dank drivel the internet provides. And this week, we got a lot to cover yet again.
Yeah.
We started here. I call this one Corn Cares Not From Where the Jokes Flow. This was sent to us from a superstar producer on Signals from the Frontline, who sends me these cool things every so often. Danny, do me a favor. Could you describe this for the audio listener?
Yeah, it's Angron painted up like a clown. It's terrible.
Is it terrible though? Is it just?
No, it's for real terrible. This is almost as much of a joke as the World Eaters Codex.
Oh, wow.
It's
Maybe
literally this model's literally clown shoes.
They
Here, give
could
me
replace one of the axes with a can of Fago, and it would just be streak some grime over that. Call it great. Dicky, I've got some questions on you. Want to bring that back up? They do relate to that there. This is obviously a clown rendition of Angron. Please describe Clown Angron's act.
His act?
Yeah, his act. What does he do? What's his clown performance? Is it just showing up and fighting alongside world eaters?
I am legitimately upset about this. It's so sad. Yeah, he kind of is a joke, to be totally honest. On the game table, he does mess some stuff up, but I don't know, man. I don't know. This is just really sad.
Here.
Yeah.
His act is he creates a balloon animal copy of himself and lets people kill that. And when it pops, he spends the blood points and comes back.
No. Pete, is the red nose on this Angron this model's version of the butcher's nail? And is that the source of his comedy?
I think the source of his comedy, I think he's more of like a Gallagher situation. Where he's just like smashing watermelons on the table. That's where I would go with this.
Okay, perfect.
Maybe he's a pie guy.
He's more like a Mitch Hedberg.
You think he's got his eyes closed the whole time there?
Yeah, maybe.
Ducks free with corn. Danny, you send me this next one here. Let's get this off screen. Save Dicky something here.
Stupid Angron.
Oh, you want me to read this?
Yeah, well, yeah, or summarize it a little bit here because it is awfully long and proud.
Wordy.
No, believe me, John, it's worth it. Just let me.
Okay, go. Okay, then now we're gonna have Danny reading. Does anyone else find Space Wolf culture annoying?
My only nearby gaming store has a community of about 25 people, but on the usual game night, there's typically between 8 to 10 people that show up, and we only get big turnouts for tournaments. 4 of the guys that never miss a night are the 4 Space Wolf players, and I'm starting to get a little fed up. They don't play against each other on casual nights because, quote unquote, wolves don't fight. So half the time I end up having to play against Space Wolves. On store tournament days, if they get matched together, they'll deploy and play maybe a round and then talk it out, decide who won. Every week, they wear matching jerseys with different names on the back for their wolf names. Whenever they kill your models, they howl loudly. Oh, God. Whenever something they consider momentous happens, like winning a game or rolling a bunch of 6s or killing a named character,
finding a lady,
they shout about full moon, quote unquote, and then all 4 of them howl.
Oh,
this generally happens every 10 minutes or so after deployments. Oh, whenever we get interested new people checking on the tables, they immediately ask them if they want to join the pack and give them a really hard sell that puts people off. I know orc players that like to shout "wah," and I talk in the orc voice, and I don't mind that. I think it's funny. No, it's not. But I don't find the wolf pack very funny, and I want to know if you have this, like, if it's like this at your stores, and if you're playing against Space Wolves way more than you'd like.
Well, we have in the studio here 4 different hosts in 4 different locations. Pete, is it like that at your store?
I cannot believe this guy outed Bam Bam Hunter like this online. Like that, like this is unreal how they could do that. Like, just name names, guy. Like this is 100% Brian Hunter. I've seen him do it.
Does he go to new impressionable players and like, hey, you want to join the wolf pack, kid?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, he's usually smoking a cigar while he does it, so he looks 10 times cooler. But Space Wolf players are messed up. They often drink very hard liqueurs to the point of blindness, and say and do weird things. It's part of the culture. You just get used to it.
This is 40K turbo time. That's exactly what this is. It's like that sketch from I Think You Should Leave, and like you're describing this. You're not part of the specific scenario. Has this happened to you?
I guess what other clans could other factions in 40k make? So for Space Wolf, you have the Wolf Pack. For your Orcs, you have your WA Squad. What else have we got?
Oh, sure.
The Ultramarines guys. There's always Ultramarine guys.
Or you
bros.
could have like the Cornbreads.
Yeah, or like the Black Templars problematic guys.
Oh,
in the yeah, exactly.
In Spanish.
Then there's always the Eldar
It's
guys
beautiful.
and the Tau guys.
What's the cringiest thing you guys have seen at tournaments? I know everyone here has been to like a whole ton of events. What's the cringiest thing you've ever seen at an event, RTT or higher? Because 4 guys howling at each other and yelling "full moon."
That's pretty cringy.
Assumedly sober.
You just
Because
imagine them like chanting like "full moon, full moon, full moon," and they're
Honestly,
all so very excited.
By you saying that, it makes me want to do it. Like I'm getting more and more hyped about doing that.
Pete, we have a new goal.
I will say, like, because he goes into such levels of specifics into what they're doing. At no point does he say they're drunk, which I feel he would bring up if they were.
I feel like these guys are sober. Like,
So they're absolutely sober
100%
doing
sober.
this.
They're 100%. They're clean.
I will
straight edge.
I will agree with him though. I am playing against Space Wolves way more than I would like to. But that's just in general. Yeah.
That's weird.
Like once a year, don't like it. Don't want to do it.
Never again.
No. Moving on. This was posted and quickly taken down on Warhammer community site. 40 years of Warhammer ride back into history on a black coach. Danny, what are we looking at here?
It looks like maybe they forgot to put the image of the black coach on there. There's a big pink placeholder image.
Truly, one of the best miniatures of the last 40 years, the placeholder.
Yeah.
Would you guys say this is symbolic of GW's treatment of fantasy in the past decade?
Oh man.
Yes.
This joke would have hit way better with Val because he has a sadder face, but still good.
I'm doing my best. This is
That's
my
fair.
sad face.
I loved the model they showed off at the last preview. I hated that then they were like, it's also in resin. And then I was like, oh, so you're not, this isn't an effort you're putting in. And then I was sad.
Do you think with Fulgrim, one guy in his spare time sculpted this kick-ass model and they're like, oh yeah, we'll use that in Heresy?
Honestly, that was like the funniest. I got so happy when they showed that model and then we're like, only for Horus Heresy. I was giddy. Like just the immediate reaction from people in the chat. I was like, this makes my heart full. This
Or
is the
Vincent
kind of
Notley having to moderate at 10 times normal speed over that time.
Oh, it excited me greatly.
It was fantastic, phenomenal. 10 out of 10. I enjoyed it too, especially because Emperor's Children players, remember, it's pleasure and pain. You have to have the pain, which is why they do this for you. It's in character. Here is a very general question for you guys. GW's been doing 40 years of Warhammer recently and showing off models from the past. What is everyone's favorite model from the last 40 years of Warhammer? And again, we're not going to hold this to you in the future. It's just the first thing to come off the top of your head. Like for me, Egrim von Horseman, I think overall, or the Green Knight. Those are the two that immediately come to mind.
Oh, that's nice.
But Pete, well, what about you? What's your favorite model from the last 40?
The Snotling Pump Wagon.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
Especially like, I mean, the new one was good, but the original, if you got the like limited edition Snotlings that had like that were doing all sorts of wacky ass shit, like giving the finger and picking their butts, I thought that was amazing.
Yes. Danny, favorite model from the last 40 years? Well, what's the first thing that pops into your brain?
Scourges, probably. Dark Eldar Scourges. Probably my favorite models. They're so cool.
Nice. And Dicky, is it Clowngron? It's Clowngron, right?
Yeah, it's probably Clowngron. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a revelation.
Yeah. Beautiful. Moving on here, we have this beautiful thing that I found on X or Twitter or whatever the hell we want to call it in the couple extra months it has of existence. It is a bunch of Na'vi from the Avatar universe, so I pulled this especially for this episode, defending the assumed planet of Pandora from the incoming Raven Guard. P, how does this battle go?
Oh, it's I mean, they get destroyed, right? Like the Na'vi. Oh, like just
First of
punished.
all, this is the Death Watch, and that's a member of the Raptors chapter.
Yeah, John.
So get that.
Clear.
God.
So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah, you don't even have the sad music lined up. So I can't- yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's for you.
Yeah. And thanks, I got actually in chat as well, so that's really good.
Yeah,
Great.
thank you.
Wonderful.
So
I'm
yeah,
glad you guys
Falcon,
appreciate that.
as our head lore master for both Pandora and the Raptor chapter of Death Watch. What happens in
I
this
don't
battle?
even know how Death Watch works. Jesus
What is
Christ.
happening right now?
It's like John has
That hurt
forgotten
my
what
soul.
40K is. I feel like right now. I'm not sure what's going on.
It's the one with the square bases.
Oh no, man.
My favorite, so I was just distracted because my favorite thing from this is right on the caption that's put up the top, where it says, "Suffer not the alien to live," page 1, which implies there will be more of this coming, which I don't know if that's bad or worse. And then under it says, "Mr. James Cameron may hate me what I'm done," which I think is may hate me for what I've done. But if we go down to the next page, where I think we see James Cameron's reaction to this. It's just he doesn't even know who you are. He doesn't care. He has millions of dollars. He's probably underground in a submarine or in water in a submarine right now.
Underground in a submarine.
It could be
you
also
be
underground. It
in a
could be in a
submarine,
cave.
like, just live your best life.
Moving on to terrible decisions of things that we shouldn't care about but do. We're going to talk about Mr. Elon Musk and his ex thing. Turns out he has a secret 11th child, good on him, called Technomechanicus, whose nickname is Tau. What are what's your thoughts on little Technomechanicus?
I mean, I hope he lives a full life and accomplishes great things.
What are some terrible names you could give future children based on the Warhammer universe?
Uriel Ventress.
Cato Sicarius.
Yeah.
He would win all of the participation trophies, though, and he would show them with great pride.
It's true.
Dicky,
Yep.
what would you call your next child if it had to be after a 40K thing?
Karn.
Death
Hard.
Leaper.
Wow.
Death Leaper.
Death Leaper. That would be pretty good.
Come here,
Oh,
little fun
one-eye.
Leaper.
But also, one eye. That's how we got into that problem. But yeah.
Beautiful. Well, that's all we're gonna do for Around the Net today. Looks like I timed it pretty well. In fact, no, we're gonna do this right now because I've put it off for several weeks, and I can't think of a better person here to do this with than Peter the Falcon. We moved down to slide 29. A few weeks ago, we put up the Warhammer's official Twitter page was making top trump cards for their different characters throughout 40K. While they were away from the show, we did top trump cards for Danny, which we can show down here. Very powerful 99 for Sass that was edited after Val realized he was wrong about it. Dicky with really 100 Sasses.
Why was my power so low? This is the question I had with
Because
Danny.
you don't
This
maximize
actually
your
makes
screen.
sense.
Yeah.
Go back to mine compared to Dicky's real quick here.
Yeah.
Look, Dicky, you're just gonna have to deal with you just don't have the kind of power I do. I talk about how powerful I am all the time.
Yeah.
Like a lot. And so I think that's really what influenced this. And if
So
you
this
want
is only verbal power. This is a verbal power measure.
He's a lawyer.
No, it's just power. People know if you tell them you're powerful, they know how powerful you are.
That's true.
Huh.
So while Val is away on fantasy duty right now, let's pull up this guy here. Peter Falcon, Danny, Dicky. Let's rate Val out of a scale of 1 to 100. Where's his power at?
7.8.
7.8?
Yeah, 7.8.
Is it 1 to 100? Someone didn't get yelled at very much at LVO, huh, Danny?
You got yelled at?
A lot. So many times.
All right,
12.
yeah, I'll accept that. 12 is good.
Dicky, you wanted to try to raise that? I'm doing averages here, rough. Like, so right now we're at an average of 12 out of 100.
I give him a 15.
A 15. I'm not working on
14
that
it
math.
is.
13. All right. What about speed? What's the
Ooh.
speed like?
He is not a fast
No, I
man.
was gonna say.
But I would rate the speed higher than the power.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. So
Well,
give me a top. Give me a top speed.
like in miles per hour, or kilometers per hour, because I'm gonna have to pull out a calculator.
You can do miles. It's fine.
Okay. 7.8.
7.8. All right.
all right. We'll just put that in. Perfect.
Yep. No argument there.
Okay.
Intellect. Oh.
Intellect. Again, this is out of 100, and not that I'm saying that you guys are being a little mean, maybe. But yeah.
85.
Oh,
Okay,
maybe
wait.
we can-
My intellect was 80. So he's got to be smarter than me, right?
This is an average. So
yeah. So Danny said 85.
Oh, he no, he's like
Oh.
at 100 at least.
oh, for glory?
Yeah.
No,
he's good.
for intellect. I just moved
Oh,
down to the
sorry,
next
John,
one.
because you're on glory right now.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm always on glory.
Well, I
There we
mean,
go.
I think the 69 or okay, so until he's got to be 100, right? He's a smart guy.
Come on,
he's
dude.
tops. He's tipsy tops there.
Right.
88.
Okay.
He's like Val Barbie.
It's true. Glory.
He created the show. He created the Thursday show, which is no longer the Thursday show. He
actually
streamed for GW.
didn't he create State of Play?
He
which
created
is-
State of Play, but then we turned it into the Thursday show, which
on another one. But
LVO question mark.
that's true. That was really good. What
yeah.
about Glory? Where are we
I
sitting
think
at?
glory is high too. High
69.
glory.
I think 69.
That's a
You guys-
solid number, but
you
I'm
guys
gonna
were
have to
all-
go higher.
Oh,
I'm gonna go with 70.
You made it sound like you were going to go so much
it's so
higher.
much higher. Yeah.
But that's the fucking joke, John.
All right. All right, guys. The last one's an easy one. Sass. How sassy is a little
Oh,
Valerie?
he is so sassy.
Yeah.
He's so sassy. I'll let everyone know what he does in the show. If I don't maximize a window in the show, he will 100% sass me to make that maximized every
It's verbally
show.
abusive, you guys. I just want you to know, Dicky will come on. Will come.
I'll cry.
after the show,
I'll start crying.
He'll be in tears.
Yeah, crying. Awful. Yeah, I think your sass level is higher than his.
Yeah.
Right.
Also,
I
we're
agree
viewed
with
as
that.
inferiors.
Yeah.
Just like things to be thrown away. And it's the laughter of pain from Dicky right there.
Yeah,
That's
it's
just
kind of a
terrible.
cry.
Let's say 105 out of 100.
Yep.
Beautiful. That was easy. Guys, we're going to do a thing. We're just going to do Dicky, Falcon, and Danny in prices right here. But before that, I want to share this. Because the week I decided that Abby the Despoiler is going to be limited to 9 episodes so I don't go insane. I actually commissioned an artist on Fiverr at great personal expense to create this guy right here. Little Karn, little Abby, beautiful, good to go. So we're going to listen to episode 5 of 9 because, again, the very smart Nick Horton was like, don't drive yourself insane, give it an M point. So I was like, yeah, probably. But chat, Danny, Pete, what are y'all thinking about the beautiful art there from some random artist I found on Fiverr? Do you feel that was worth $30? That was my reaction. Yeah.
Oh, good. I fixed my sound.
American. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe Canadian. I would.
yeah, that's like
maybe pay
$65 here.
Yeah.
Oh.
How much would you pay for that print, say, of Abby the Despoiler, if it was a real? I'll give you his details. You can negotiate the next one.
What don't you like? What don't you like about it, Falcon? Yeah, no. Yeah,
That's
man.
a lot of money. That's a lot of money, Pete.
It is. It is. We're going to jump into this, and I'll be right back for a very special edition. And apparently, Sherman still got no audio from Pete, which means he can't hear how much he loves this and how much he wished we'd spent $140 on that. But yeah,
do
we're
the
gonna
thing.
play this, and then we'll be back in a second.
Previously on Abby the Despoiler.
Oh no, it's Singe, Changer of Ways.
Wait, you can see him too? Fine then. Disappear with an imaginary bird in a cloud of blue smoke. See if I care.
And now, part 5 of Abby the Despoiler.
Hello, Warp friends. We're on a super twisty adventure today after I got transported by Singe to this strange place. Look, I found a colorful creature.
Hi there, brave traveler. Can you help me with a riddle?
Of course, riddles are fun. What's your riddle?
I'm born in fire, yet I can't burn. I'm a river, but you can't drink from me. What am I?
Let's think together. What do you think, friends? Is it lava? If you think it's lava, say lava.
Say it.
Lava.
Lava.
Who are you
I
talking
can't believe
to?
you guys got
Anyway,
John.
Sinch is over there.
We've come so far on this adventure, and now it's time to meet Singe. But what's Singe's plan, friends? Your time has come, Singe. What are your devious plans? I get it now. This was never about defeating me. It was about changing me, making me stronger. Wait, I feel different, like I'm 30 points more than I was before. Wow, I'm back where I left. I wonder where my friends Karn and Fabius are.
Hi, Abby. I'm over here. And over here, too. We're over here. Fabius cloned us. Corn be praised.
Oh no, but Fabius, you said Karn's a dick. Why did you clone him?
Look, I mean, the thing is, I have a problem. I thought I could clone the dick out of him, but it didn't work 887 times. But I have a good feeling about the 888th time, even though that imaginary giant axe-wielding bullman told me not to do it.
Oh no! Abby may be appropriately pointed thanks to the trickery of Singe, but now Fabius has cloned a carnival of Karns that have drawn the attention of the blood god himself. How will Abby get out of this one? Can Fabius get the dick out of Karn? Find out next time on Abby the Despoiler.
Wow. That story
What a
is really heating
cliffhanger,
up.
John.
Yeah.
I really like where this is going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Part 5 of 9. And I've mapped it out. And then after that, we're going to take a little break and then maybe come back with a different one. But I'm still enjoying Abby. And I will now commission hundreds more expensive arts in that style. Exclusively.
Maybe a new artist, maybe, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
I think
consider
we could do
paying some
better.
money.
Maybe Peter's kid could help us out.
I can't afford Peter's kid level. Come on now. Nothing's expensive. Peeps, I had so much fun with last week's themed episode of Prices Redacted that I'm bringing it back again, and Dicky doesn't even know the answers because, as someone last week in the comments quite correctly pointed out, it's not as much fun when you can have one person just go slightly higher and win the whole thing. So now we have 3 people to come along with us, and this week's slide or the bumper. Amazing. The Price is Redacted. It's back. This week is themed after my excitement for the greatest thing to come out of Games Workshop in its history. Yes, that is right. These guys here. Next slide.
Oh.
Creative licensing to third-party companies.
Oh.
Truly a wonderful thing. And
Wow.
to celebrate that, we have a very special issue. Next is our first item, and I'm going to learn how to talk for this one.
Yep.
The first item is, and these again are all sold items that have sold on eBay in US dollars, not including shipping. So our first item, bring that one up. It's a copy of the Ultramarines, a Warhammer 40,000 movie on DVD. It is in a pre-owned condition, but was sold. Starting with Peter the Falcon. How much did someone spend on August 17th on a pre-owned open version of the Warhammer 40,000 movie on DVD?
Given how much you spent on that shitty picture, I'm going to say $30.
$30.
$30. Okay, Danny, in a less hurtful way. Did you say a penny? Okay. And Dicky, in maybe a more playful way. How much did someone spend on a copy of the Ultramarine movie?
Sherman said $107, and he was literally right every single time last week.
He also added 69 cents at the end of it, so it might be a meme.
Maybe go $69.
I feel like that's a bust.
I feel, Danny, that you're pushing people to lose so that you'll win with your 1 cent bet.
What? Oh, come on. That's not true. That's not true at all. I would never do something like that.
I'll do $107.69. But Sherman can't do me wrong, right?
Yeah, he can.
Oh.
It's $5.80.
Yes.
Don't listen to that.
So
He's
fucking
been playing this a
powerful.
while. He knows how to game the system. Well, let's switch it up a little bit. No more DVDs. That is boring and unacceptable. The next slide here.
Yep.
And I do have a physical version of this too for a prop, so you can know. Going down, Dicky. This version of the Ultramarine movie on Blu-ray.
Oh wow!
Open. If you're paying $5.80 for a DVD copy, Danny, as a winner, how much are you paying for a Blu-ray copy?
$5, John.
$5. Okay.
Wow.
Pete, how much you paying?
$30.
$30, okay. And Dicky, how much for an open copy of the Ultramarines movie on Blu-ray?
Yeah, you know what? I can't think for myself, so I'm gonna go with bums. $5.90.
I'm gonna ask you to phrase that in literally any other way.
I'm gonna go with bums and choose $5.90.
You bought that picture for $30.
It was $12.47, making Dicky the closest without going over.
Thank you, Bubs.
By a whole 90 cents. But let's get away from this ridiculousness here. Let's go to some proper licensed merchandise. Let's go down one more to this sealed copy of the Ultramarines movie on Blu-ray that was sold on July 23rd. And again, this is new in shrink wrap. Much like the open copy, no one has watched this all the way through.
Yeah.
Dicky, how much are you spending on that?
Oh, no, you got to wait for people to help me here. Okay.
If you win, you go first. It's like the one rule we haven't changed.
It is the one rule. I'm going to go $6.69.
Nice. Danny.
That was going to be my guess. Sorry.
Got him.
All right, here I got it.
Yeah.
$14.20.
I like it. It's good. Off by one. That's okay. And then Pete, how much would you pay for a sealed new and cellophane copy of the Ultramarines movie?
I don't know. $8.
Oh, you didn't say 30. That's impressive.
No, that's true.
The bid only goes so far.
That's true. Someone actually paid $50 for this.
What the fuck? Why?
That means I win.
No,
Danny said $14.20. No, I do have a copy, but I paid less than that for that.
That I feel like that's the copy that we're looking at.
Because I would spend $30 on that art.
Because you would spend $30 on whatever the crap that was earlier.
John's actually been mad about it all year. He's like, "Well, I'm gonna Photoshop the dates on these. I bought this like 6 months ago for $50."
And guys, if you're just listening to the audio version of this, you're missing out on seeing some quality $30 art. Be sure to go to our YouTube channel, time skip to whenever the heck this was, or watch the whole thing. I don't care. I just like to click. But we're done. No more Blu-ray copies of the Ultramarine movie. Next up, we have, and I have a physical copy of this, a special edition of the Ultramarine movie.
Christ. Why would anyone...
And my earpieces fell out, so I can't hear a thing. So give me 1 second here. Beautiful. So not only does this come with the movie on Blu-ray, so I did technically lie, It comes with the Ultramarine movie, bonus content, including the Legacy, bringing the Warhammer 40 universe to screen, which I thought they would watch before making this, creating the script,
$4.20.
the Art of War, which, maybe they could sue. They have the Art of War, design and artwork for the first ever full-length Warhammer 40,000 movie, which, again, not super full-length, I will say. And then a special commission 32-page, and this is why I bought this one. It comes with a 32-page hardbook graphic novel, which of a much more interesting story. But Danny, you said $4.20 for this special edition?
Yep.
Okay. Pete?
I'm going back to it.
Have you seen this movie?
$30.
I have watched it several times. Okay. And then Dicky, how much are you going for?
Okay, Bums. Bums hasn't let me down yet. I'm going $36 from Bums.
And
Didn't he let you down immediately when this started?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
This was sold, by the way, September 5th, so very recently, and it sold for
the delay is killing me. $22
with only one bid. So you're all over. Danny, you're now up 3-1. We have 2 more left before we think. But you know what? I'm done with this theme of Ultramarines movies. Instead, we're going to move on to this, which is an Ultramarine book, which is an out-of-print Warhammer 40,000 Codex Ultramarines that I'm sure at least 3 people are still very upset at Games Workshop that they can't use today. But the question I'm asking you, Danny, is how much did someone spend for that on July 10th of this year?
$27.
Get out of here. $27.
Have you ever read that book? It's fucking cool, dude.
All right.
$52.
Wow.
Dicky, are you going to go with Bums and lose again, or are we going to make our own guesses?
$1.
$1. Okay. We're at that stage of caring about it. Wonderful. The correct answer was $37.46.
Whenever I don't bid 30, that's the winning bid.
Yeah, I know.
Every time.
Yeah. I will say Danny won that. He said 27, so he was the closest without going over because Dicky was a coward and just did 1. And finally, talking about the greatest miniatures over the years of Games Workshop, we have this guy here, which is Marnius Calgar, Master of the Ultramarines, new in blister.
Oh, the gorilla guy.
Model number 8038H, Lord McCragg. How much are you spending, or how much was spent September 3rd for this model? Starting with Danny for winning again.
Says 14
John,
bucks on the
it's a tough bid. It's a tough bid.
Yeah.
$42.69.
Is this because you're so far ahead that no one can beat you anyway, so you're just going to go with the B number?
That's what you call sportsmanship in the game, John.
It's true. Wow. It's true. Dicky?
I can't think for myself. Joel Atkinson says $87. I'm choosing $87.
And P.
$30. Going back.
Old faithful.
You know, of all of the ones for you to do that on, when it was $29.
Oh
no! And it even came from Canada. Beautiful. Yeah. That was our Ultramarines Price is Right. And I have 2 copies of this movie. One, because on our old show Mob Rules, we sat and we watched it. We did a watch along track for it. But the movie is so boring that we couldn't release it because nothing happened rather than us getting drunk and talking about sand.
Oh my God.
It was bad. And then I had to buy this one because the comic book inside, where it's like a prequel where they're going around an actual hive city, is amazing. And I want that movie, not what we ended up getting. But that's okay. Lord Henry Cavill is coming to save us from all this.
Yep.
God, I hope so.
God. That's about all we had time for. We went a little over. That's okay. Pete, before your phone finally dies of lack of power, anything you want to wrap up or promote before we get out of here?
Oh shit, I probably should. Go check out goonhammer.com. It's a website that I help write for and do stuff with. It's really educational. You can see 40kstats.com direct to there now. Listen to these guys because they're kind of funny sometimes. Don't listen to Dicky, though. He's never done anything in his life. Ouch. And that's about it.
Yeah. Val hadn't put that line in. Don't worry, Dicky. Yeah. Danny.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to talk about here before we wrap up for the day?
Yeah. Come check out Charity Hammer this weekend. I'll be attending. So if you guys want to, we're streaming for Child's Play, which is a really great charity. We're going to have some really quality stream games. I'm playing JT McDowell from Play on Tabletop at midnight on Thursday night. So if you want to come check that out, that's going to be a real ringer of a game. It's going to be amazing. So check it out.
Yeah. And their tabletop series 40K in 40 minutes means that game you guys are playing will be over in 40 minutes. So really
easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Done. Dicky, anything you want to throw in there before we wrap this up for the day?
Yeah, I want to thank Peter. I know it's really hard to come on shows like this with your really weird ears. So thanks so much for coming on. That's really nice of you.
No response. He actually already left.
He just left. I busted no, but great.
Stunned into silence by just the random Canadian meanness about ears.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I win. Winner.
He's chosen. Did you mute him or did he mute himself? I think it's probably a little bit.
You know what? We just go to the end screen and we'll figure it out later.
Yeah, well, hey, before we do that, thank you everyone for joining us here on Grim After Dark. Find all of our socials and way to support us at grimafterdark.com, and we'll be back next Monday live at 10 p.m. Eastern-ish. And if you didn't catch us live, subscribe to the podcast and all good services. And every day you can see us live on YouTube. I still haven't changed that in the script. It still trips me up every time. But when your life feels like a never-ending siege and things can't get any worse, join us here and remember that it's always Grim After Dark.
It's time to step into the grim darkness with nerds gather talking Warhammer madness. Grim After Dark, the podcast with the hosts Jon, Danny, and Val, but they're not the most. Claiming to be experts, but it's all a facade. Talking about battles and dice rolls, they're all odd. Trying to sound cool with their Warhammer talk, but I'm here to expose. It's all just squawk. Nerds, everywhere I see talking Warhammer this, like it's a decree. But let me tell you, homie, it is all just a game. In the real world, homie, we are not the same. So put down the dice, step out of the dark. It's time to live life, nerd, make your own mark. Grim After Dark, the nerds playground. Talking Warhammer this, acting all profound. But when I listen, it's all just a bunch of noise. I love roasting nerds and their stupid ass toys. Stupid ass toys, I wanna grab them, put my hands around the neck, squeeze, Warhammer squeeze, until they can't breathe or breathe again. Tell a friend, I'm out here roasting nerds again.